There we go. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I had to do something. Sometimes you got to do things yourself, you know what I mean? But anyway, GW, real quick thing here, real quick. There's been a debate going on for years and years and years and years and years, since probably 1988, whether Die Hard, my favorite Christmas movie, is actually a Christmas movie. Well, that debate has been settled, at least as far as the Google News feed is concerned. The argument is dead. It's been settled. We have a clear answer. The fact is that John McTiernan, who directed Die Hard, said the movie was not intended to be a Christmas movie, meaning traditional Christmas movie where, you know, you have, a family gathering, you have, people coming home from the holidays, yada, yada, yada. You can see all that stuff on Hallmark if you'd like. But he said it was not a traditional holiday film, rather. However, people like me and other action movie lovers have said since the film takes place on Christmas, it is therefore a Christmas movie. So, in essence, what the answer to that question is that no, it wasn't a traditional film, but having had the atmosphere of Christmas, if you will, it became a Christmas movie. So there's your answer. The other cool thing I learned when I read this article just a couple minutes ago was the fact that there was a book called A Die Hard Christmas, which therefore furthers the argument that Die Hard is a Christmas film. Now, I don't have one, but you guys can check them out if you love the film like I do. I love the movie. I think it's the king of action movies, but that's another discussion for another time. There is Christmas sweaters, and one of them says it isn't Christmas till you see Hans Gruber go through the whatever floor of the Nakatomi Trade Building. Love it. I have a Christmas shirt that says Yippee-ki-yay. That's my Christmas shirt. Okay, I wear that every Christmas Eve. Well, I can't say every Christmas Eve. I got it last year. My wife bought it for me. She looked all over. Amazon had one, and I got it. And it has a fire hose, same type of fire hose. John McClane jumps out of the window and grabs and smashes through another window. You guys know the deal. But, so the debate was settled. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, loves action movies, that one of the greatest debates in film history has now been put to rest. So it's kind of like settled. So you can look that up on your news feed. Like I said, I got it this morning and I went, cool. Maybe I should tell the people about this. The other thing I want to say is I did the top 10 Christmas slasher movies a couple years ago. And I know that I had said that I was going to rehash them and bring everybody up to speed on them. But I don't know if I should do that or if you guys want to keep my previous entries. But I will give you some Christmas horror classics. Some of them, well, all of them have made the top 10. And I'm just going to talk about two of them right now, because I think they're very noteworthy in the Christmas horror canyon, especially, well, three of them actually. Especially if you are sick and tired of the Lifetime, Candace Bure, Hallmark stuff, and you need to, watch something else before you go nuts and start turning into Martha Stewart. Also, point of fact, that Lethal Weapon, the first one with Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and Gary Busey, was also set in Christmas time. Think about it. Me and my buddy at work were having this discussion. Think about it. There's one scene where Mel Gibson busts somebody in a Christmas tree farm. In the first scene, the chick who jumps off the balcony, I think there was Christmas music playing in the back. So therefore, Lethal Weapon can also be considered a Christmas movie, a lesser known Christmas action film. That's just a point of fact, guys. So, the three honorable mentions I'm going to talk about today are, one of them's not even a film, it's actually a short Tales from the Crypt story called All Through the House. There are two versions of this, and both are very, very well done. I haven't read the comic book version of it, so I really don't know how closely it translates, but All Through the House was a very, very interesting Christmas story, Christmas horror story with a twist. There is a rich girl who just killed her husband, and it's Christmas Eve. She's snowed in, she cannot get out. She killed her husband, as I just said. And she turns on the radio, guys, and finds out that the local insane asylum had a breakout. And one of the psychotic axe murderers is now dressed as, you guessed it, Santa Claus. That'd be my wife running across the top of the house, if you guys don't know. But so now she's stuck. She also has a little daughter who wants nothing more than to seek Santa Claus. Now, I don't need to tell you where this story pretty much goes. So now she's trapped. She cannot call the police for help because obviously the police will figure out she killed her husband. And now she's at the mercy of an axe-wielding Santa Claus suit wearing killer. Very, very well done. There's two versions of it. In the old Tales from the Crypt movie from 1974, I believe, that story first appeared on film. Richard Donner had redid it for the very first episode of Tales from the Crypt, the TV show. Which, if you haven't seen that show at all, oh my God, guys. Awesome until the very last season. Definitely check out And All Through the House. A very, very well done story. If you can find it online, read the story. If you can actually find it on YouTube, watch it. It is a very, very well done horror classic. If you haven't seen it, I suggest that if you love that kind of thing, dive into it head first because it is awesome. I'm telling you now. And both versions are very, very cool and very frightening. And you would think something from 74 would lose its luster. No way, guys. This is the real deal. Definitely look it up. Second film I'm going to talk about was actually pulled from theaters, shelved for 2 years. Parents groups jumped all over it. And it was deemed too controversial for its time. And I'm talking about 1985's Silent Night, Deadly Night. There was actually trailers for this movie that did air on television, but angry parents and priests and everybody got together and they said, look, Santa Claus is a killer. We're not having it. So they formed an organization, guys. They tried to get this movie banned in theaters. In fact, Siskel and Ebert said that this movie is pure garbage. But if you watch it, it has become one of the most iconic holiday slasher films ever created. And I think on my watch list, you guys can actually find the Siskel and Ebert thing if I put it on there. It spawned a couple more sequels. Like I said, 1 is good. 2 just kind of rehashes the plot of the first. And number 3 fell into obscurity because it was no good. The only redeeming factor of that film, guys, is Bill Moseley plays the killer of Billy. Interesting fact, that was his first acting job, guys, if you're keeping track. And the third film on my list is a little Margot Kidder film called Black Christmas. It's about a killer who kills sorority co-eds in a house, and you guessed it, on Christmas Eve. It's very cool, very chilling. They redid it, and I don't remember much about the remake. They actually did another remake, which is rated PG-13. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's got high accolades. But if you go back to the Margot Kidder one, she was the chick that was in Superman, Lois Lane. If you go back to that one I think holds the most prestige, I guess, over the other two. It was also directed and written by Bob Clark. Bob Clark actually did another horror film called Death Dream, which you guys should check out. He also was the writer and director of one of the greatest comedy franchises in film history, and I'm talking about Porky's, guys. And again, if you have not seen that, Porky's is like a rite of passage, okay? You watch it, you hear about it, you watch it, and it's amazing. And made in the 80s, and I laugh my tail off every time I watch it, guys. There was four of them. Buy the box set off Amazon. I'm not going to lie to you, it's pretty awesome. There was also a arcade game based on Porky's where you had to sneak into the girl's shower room and try to see him naked before getting bounced out of Porky's club. It made no sense, but it was made by Atari back in the day, and you can find that info on YouTube as well. Definitely look into that. It was very an obscure video game, and I don't think it sold many copies due to the fact that even though it was 6-bit, 4-bit, whatever the Atari cartridges were, they also made a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game for the Atari and a Leatherface game, and a Halloween game, I should say. Problem was, you couldn't get a hold of them. They made so many of a limited run that they were deemed too violent. Now think about that. Pixelated squares, I don't dig it. So definitely look those up. And just to summarize the record, like I said, Die Hard was not made to be a traditional Christmas movie, but we embraced it. The fans of the action genre embraced it, and we stood up and we said, look, this is a Christmas movie. So therefore, the argument's solved. And come to think of it, within a couple of days, Wednesday night, Thursday night, I'm going to fire up my DVD player, or my Blu-ray player, and I'm watching one of the greatest action Christmas movies of all time, Die Hard. So on that note, as Bruce Willis would say, yippee-ki-yay. GW, saying, hey, if I don't see you guys, all of you guys, have a Merry Christmas, stay safe, and let's try to flip it harder in the new year, okay?